The words hit me like crystal exploding on concrete. "You're finished here." Marcus Vale didn't hesitate. He didn't flinch. The smile on his face was sharper than the dismissal notice, resting casually in his hand. Around the executive conference room, every seat suddenly became occupied by cowards' eyes fixed on the table, the walls, anywhere but me. 9 years of building, the digital spine of their corporation, erased because I skipped a party. I walked out hollow, wrapping silence around myself like body armor, unaware that this moment wasn't an ending. It was ignition. Earlier that evening, I sat alone at my workstation, staring at an email that looked innocent enough. Mandatory for a birthday party. The glow of the monitor reflected off my untouched mug as my fingers hovered over the keyboard. I didn't reply. I didn't RSVP. I didn't care, because on my screen was the final encryption patch of a proprietary defense algorithm valued at over $820 million code pulsing like a heartbeat. One wrong line and the entire system collapsed. I'm Lena Hartwell, Senior Systems Engineer. For 9 years, they called me the living firewall. I lived inside server rooms, slept on office couches, sealed breaches before executives even knew they existed. While others played politics, I built protection. While egos clashed in boardrooms, I kept the company alive. Marcus Vale, however, built nothing. He was the CEO nephew, handed a vice president title fresh out of a luxury MBA, his resume lighter than the linen napkin used at his celebratory lunches. Smooth, talking, entitled, obsessed with loyalty displays. Around the office, people whispered about his temper and his obsession with control. My phone vibrated. One missed call, then a message from my mother, "Honey, will you come by tonight?" My chest tightened. She'd been cycling in and out of Riverview Medical Center for weeks. I typed quickly, "Tomorrow. Just need to finish this deployment." It wasn't a lie. If this update didn't launch tonight, the next executive audit would turn brutal. Another notification appeared, this one from a coworker. Word is Marcus takes attendance personally. Says skipping his party means disloyalty. I scoffed. A loyalty test? I was loyal to results, not champagne. I checked the time, 9:47 p.m. I turned back to the code. I didn't know then that ignoring one invitation would cost me everything by morning. At 9:30 a.m., I walked into an execution. The executive boardroom felt colder than usual, glass walls reflecting the skyline of Northbridge City. A view that suddenly didn't feel like home. Marcus Vale stood front and center, tailored slate suit pressed to perfection. Behind him sat his uncle, Elliot Vale, CEO of Stratasync Solutions, arms crossed, expression carved from stone. No greeting, no explanation. "Lena," Marcus said, dragging my name across his tongue, "thanks for coming in." I waited. He straightened his cufflinks, eyes bright with something far from professionalism. "As of this morning," he said calmly, "your employment with Stratasync Solutions has been terminated. Effective immediately." The word echoed. Terminated? My brain scrambled. Budget restructuring, project shifts, anything logical. But Marcus continued. "You demonstrated a lack of commitment. Missing last night's event reflects poorly on leadership alignment. We need people who fit our culture." Culture. I had carried this company through cyber attacks that would have destroyed competitors. I built the algorithm, shielding their global infrastructure. And now I was disposable, dismissed by a man whose greatest achievement was throwing himself a party. I kept my mouth shut. Rage spoken too soon destroys leverage. Still, panic coiled inside me. My mother's insurance depended on this job. Her recent treatments had drained most of my savings. Without coverage, every procedure would bury me deeper. Marcus saw it. His smile widened. He leaned forward, palms flat on the polished table. "Never," he said quietly, "think you're more important than my family." It wasn't a warning. It was a declaration. This wasn't about work. It never was. I gathered my things without a word. The chair scraped the floor. An ugly sound in the silence. Marcus watched me the entire time. At my desk, an envelope weighted cream, colored, embossed with the Stratasync logo. My monitor displayed a single line, "Your system access has been revoked. 9 years, gone." The office buzzed with forced normalcy. Keyboards clicked. Phones rang. No one met my eyes. I opened the envelope. 2 pages. No thanks. No acknowledgement of the architecture protecting contracts across 3 continents. Just legal language and one instruction. Return badge by end of day. I packed slowly. Whispers followed. She skipped the party. A laugh. I ignored it. Outbursts don't win wars. Silence does. As I zipped my bag, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. 5 words. Leave now. Harbor Café. Adrian Cole. My breath caught. Adrian Cole, former chief financial officer. The mind behind every major acquisition. A year earlier, he vanished. No goodbye, no announcement. I didn't hesitate. Badge down, envelope under my arm, I walked out. The bell chimed as I entered Harbor Café, nearly empty except for one man seated in the corner. Silver hair, sharp eyes. Adrian Cole hadn't softened. He'd sharpened. "Lena," he said, pulling out the chair. "Sit." My heart pounded. "You're wondering why I called," he said. I nodded. "Before I left Stratasync." Adrian continued, "I prepared for this outcome. For me," he smiled. "When you began developing that algorithm, I knew its value, and I knew politics would eventually turn on you." He leaned forward. "So I created a safeguard, a trust. Holding an LLC Hartwell Dynamics, registered 7 months ago. You signed the paperwork," he said, "buried in a compliance review I handed you late one night. It came back to me. I thought it was standard IP protection. If you resigned," Adrian said, "nothing happened. But if you were removed without cause, ownership transferred." He slid a silver USB across the table. "The patents, the system keys, the licensing rights." My throat went dry. "It's yours," he said. "As of this morning, Stratasync owns nothing." The weight of it settled. The company didn't just fire me, they destroyed themselves. I wrapped my fingers around the USB drive, its cold weight sending a current through my palm. Adrian leaned back in his chair, eyes sharp with satisfaction. "Marcus thought he embarrassed you," he said evenly. "What he really did was activate everything we buried months ago. For the first time since the nightmare began, something inside me reignited. Not anger, hope, precise, dangerous, controlled. From the corner booth of Harbor Café, I opened a secure terminal. My face stayed calm, my pulse steady, at least on the surface. 1 signature, 2-factor authentication. And 9 years of my life slid cleanly off Stratasync's servers into the vault of Hartwell Dynamics. The LLC Adrian built wasn't dramatic, it was surgical. The transfer finished without fireworks, but the impact was seismic. The algorithm wasn't theirs anymore, it was mine. The cafe filled with idle noise, baristas laughing, cups clinking. But it barely registered. My phone vibrated nonstop. Internal messages leaked faster than anyone could stop them. They fired Lena Hartwell. She built half the system. What were they thinking? I scrolled past it all. My badge was useless, my desk abandoned. Yet somehow, I had never felt more present. Then a notification caught my eye. Marcus Vale. A photo from the night before, crystal glass raised, arm draped around 2 executives, smiling like a conqueror. The caption read, "Leadership means knowing who truly matters, family first." I let out a quiet laugh. Marcus couldn't manage a coffee line, let alone an empire, and he had no idea the foundation beneath him had already collapsed. I closed my eyes briefly, letting the fury settle beneath discipline. Rage is only useful when timed correctly. The alert came minutes later, at first glance routine, then the subject line saying, "System alert, deployment license expired. Please contact Hartwell Dynamics to renew." The notice didn't go just to me, it went everywhere, every VP, every director. Every stakeholder who assumed the day would continue as usual just learned their flagship system was frozen. No patches, no expansions, no updates until they came to me. I shut the laptop, finished my coffee, and walked out calmly. Just another woman leaving a cafe. 13 floors above, chaos erupted. The Stratasync boardroom had transformed into a pressure chamber. Elliot Vale's voice thundered against glass walls. Marcus stood rigid beside him, last night's bravado dissolving into panic. Sweat darkened his collar as the IT director stumbled through red-lined dashboards. All global deployments are locked, he said. Every node requires renewal keys from Hartwell Dynamics. No one said my name. Marcus slammed his fist down. She can't do this, she signed work. For hire. The general counsel adjusted her glasses. She didn't. Lena negotiated an IP carve-out tied to performance benchmarks. She exceeded everyone. We have no enforceable claim. Elliot's face drained, then flushed. We paid her, we funded the infrastructure. It doesn't matter. The lawyer replied. The patents are registered. The LLC owns everything. Silence crushed the room. Then Elliot roared, "Get Adrian Cole on the line." The call connected instantly. Adrian Cole speaking. Relief flooded Elliot's face. "Thank God we need you. You don't." Adrian replied calmly, "You made your choice." The line went dead. The truth landed like a blade. By mid-afternoon, they convinced themselves there was a way out. Emergency legal teams crowded the boardroom. Marcus sat at the head, sleeves rolled up, optimism brittle. "We file an emergency patent," the counsel said. "Claim prior ownership. It's risky but possible." Marcus grinned. "Do it." If only he knew, at a quiet table downtown, my phone lit up. ESPTO confirmation, patent approved, registered to Hartwell Dynamics LLC, approved 2 weeks earlier. The emergency filing failed minutes later. I messaged Adrian, they tried. His reply was instant, good. Phase 2. That evening, my next move arrived. Subject line: Strategic opportunity, Helix Dynamics requested a meeting. They'd reviewed public filings and wanted to discuss licensing. Mid-9 figures. I confirmed within minutes. Location: the Grand Meridian Hotel, the same venue Marcus had celebrated at days earlier. The lobby gleamed under marble and gold. Journalists hovered, sniffing rumors. Cameras turned as I passed. Helix's CEO greeted me privately. "What happened this week?" He said, "Their loss, our gain." "I'm not here to discuss the past." I replied, "Only numbers." The opening offer landed. $320 million, with expansion rights across 3 continents. I listened, I didn't rush. Then I sent one email to Elliot Vale, subject: license renewal offer, you have 48 hours. After that, the value of your company begins to erode. No threats, just math. They came to me the next day. Elliot looked older. Marcus looked small. Adrian sat beside me, composed. Jonas dropped the trust agreement on the table like a verdict. "This," he said, "is the cost of arrogance." Elliot sagged. Marcus couldn't speak. I leaned forward. "You didn't fire me," I said quietly. "You freed me." Days later, cameras flashed as I stepped onto the stage. Chief Innovation Officer Lena Hartwell Helix announced the final deal. Valuation, $820 million. My algorithm powered their future. My name led every headline. One screen showed Marcus exiting Stratasync's tower defeated. A reporter asked, "How does it feel to hold the future?" I met the lens calmly. "It feels," I said, "like the beginning."